Welcome to Business Ninjas, brought to you by WriteForMe, where you'll hear from business leaders who are out there growing their business and slaying it every day. Learn from the masters. Let's get started.
Welcome to another episode of Business Ninjas. I'm here with Angelo Ciaramello from The Funded Trader. Hey, Angelo, how's it going?
Hey, what's going on, Andy? It's good to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, my pleasure. Good to have you here. Tell me a little bit about The Funded Trader.
Yeah, so I'm excited to come on today. Again, thanks for having me on the podcast to give you guys a picture of The Funded Trader, what we do. We basically engineered a two-step challenge. So people are given a trading account, a paper trading account. And if they're able to pass our two-step challenge, we then give them access to manage some of our company's capital. And whatever they make, once they do get to that funded stage, we pay them out about 80%. So we're a very interesting opportunity for retail traders.
Sounds fascinating. Tell me a little bit more about that. What's the challenge that they sign up for to start? And then once they get funded, how much do they get funded with?
Yeah, so painting a picture for you, basically the people that are in need, or what's in need is, a lot of people are day trading and they just don't have the capital to trade, right? They don't have a lot saved up and they see this opportunity to trade, whether it's Forex, crypto, indexes, anything, commodities. And so they build up these skills to trade, but they just don't have the accounts, right? So what we realized was by creating this opportunity where people can take this challenge, they can basically manage all the way up to $600,000 of our capital. So the opportunity really is huge. And just this past month, we paid out one individual $200,000 actually in 1 month, which is just mind blowing, right? It's like some year's salary, doctor's salary in 1 month. That being said, it's not easy. It's like any other skill-based activity. It's extremely difficult to trade, to manage emotions, to make money in the markets. So, if you're a beginner, you want to get started, I would just say the first step is to get on our website, go on YouTube, check out some of our videos. Got to get educated, on how to actually trade before you step in and pay for the challenge, because there is a sign-up fee. So I would just recommend taking advantage of some of the free resources out there so you can get an idea of, how to actually navigate in the markets before you start to, take things on and get into it.
It's really cool. Tell me a little bit about the origin story of the business. It's such a unique business model, and people love origin stories. How'd you go from an idea to actually getting to market?
Yeah, so I was working in IT operations, so working a 9 to 5 like a lot of people, and I'm 27, so that was about 5 years ago, and then I started to go online and look for ways to make money like everyone else, just trying to find side hustles and all this stuff, right? The hustle culture all over the world at this point, right? And one thing that I stumbled across was trading, and I started trading myself. I had made some money, lost some money. And something that I realized that I wanted to do was I wanted to build an online community, an audience, a community to talk with, and just to meet more people, right, that were doing what I was doing. I was very passionate about what I was doing. I met my partner at the time, for the community that I was building, and me and him definitely saw a lot of power in just collaborating and sharing ideas. So we started this audience on Instagram, mainly Instagram and YouTube, and we started to grow our community, our Discord, our Telegram, our email list, everything like that. And then as one thing led to another, we're trying to figure out different ways to leverage basically our audience, to give them more opportunity. And we were doing some affiliate marketing, and through affiliate marketing, we basically partnered with this one company that was doing a similar business model, and the way they were running it, just wasn't that professional. There was a lot that could be done to create more efficiencies in their business. And with my background in operations, in IT, I just kind of saw that as an opportunity. And as that company kind of went down, I was like, we need to establish something and be the first people in the US that are doing this and that are giving out this opportunity to people. And then that's, basically the idea came from looking at similar business models and then innovating, basically trying to create the best product that we possibly could have made for our audience, taking a lot of feedback from them, having the right partners. And then from there is when we started to build the company and really launch. So that's sort of the ideation behind the business.
Love that kind of story. So great, so innovative. Tell me a little bit about the challenge when somebody signs up. They have to prove themselves, and then they get some budget from you. What does
Yeah.
that journey look like for somebody new who's starting with you?
Yeah, so to paint a picture of what you actually are doing, right? So we come over to the site and you're at the point where it's like, hey, I want to take the challenge. So what happens? So you pay a sign up fee. Sign up fees are anywhere from $300 to $1,500. Basically, that unlocks a certain amount of capital if you do pass. So let's just say you want to sign up for a $50,000 challenge, right? You'd pay $300. You'd sign up. We then send you an email with your account details. So you'd get your account for phase one. In phase one, you have to make a certain amount. So it could be 10%, 12%, 8%, depending what the rules are for that challenge. And then you can't lose a certain amount. So you can't lose a certain amount in any given day, can't lose a certain amount total. And there's other various, nuances and rules to the challenges. You got to read all the FAQs and whatnot. But that's the general scope of it, is you got to make a certain amount without losing a certain amount. If you're able to do that, and the challenge length is 35 days. If you're able to pass within 35 days, basically what happens is you pass phase one, you move on to phase two. All this time, you have access to our web application, which has a dashboard. You can view all of your results, all of your trades. You monitor everything that's happening. All your notifications are in there. So that's what we call your trade hub. So then as you pass phase one, you move on to phase two. We then send you your phase two credentials. You start off on a fresh, new account, and then you have to pass with the phase two rules. As you go through phase two, if you end up passing, you have 60 days, then, you get to the point where you're actually past the challenge, you pass phase two. We do KYC, so you got to submit your documents, everything like that. Once you get verified, then we give you your funded account. At that point, you get access to what's called the profit share tab on your trade hub. And then whatever you make, very much like a broker, you could just go to the trade hub and you have your payout date. So like every other week or every 30 days, depending, you can then request a payout. So if you make, like in the case of that guy, made $200,000, right? He went over to his trade hub, made a request, and then he gets paid. We pay people out through Deal. So it's like a popular PSP that we use. So that's pretty much it. I mean, that's like the absolute basics of it.
Sounds really interesting. It's amazing. So is the Trade Hub like essentially a trading desk that has stops put in it and, graphs so you can look at trends and, make assumptions about how you want to play the market?
Yeah, so we do have the trading platform that we let people trade on, or that the accounts are on. It is built into the Trade Hub as well. So if people don't have the application downloaded on their phone, it's called MetaTrader. If you don't have the platform downloaded, MetaTrader is integrated with our Trade Hub. So you could do some charting on there, do trading on there. Most people, it's very popular to use TradingView to do charting. So they do a lot of their charting on TradingView, and then you could just download, it's a web or iOS app called MetaTrader. You could download that, trade on MetaTrader, and then a lot of people are looking at the dashboard because that's where you could see if like you fail the daily drawdown, the max drawdown. If you pass, it says you pass on there. There's like a bunch of other statistics and metrics that they can monitor during the challenge as well.
Fascinating. And you mentioned that you can trade anything. So I can trade against the S&P if I wanted to. I could trade against any stock or commodity.
Yeah, so the instruments that are available are indexes. So NAS 100, you can trade the S&P, US, which is US 30. So you could trade indexes, you could trade commodities, gold, silver, platinum, which is not that popular. And then you could trade all Forex pairs, major and minor pairs, and then you can trade crypto as well. We currently don't have stocks enabled on the platform, but it is something that we're exploring from a regulatory perspective. We're looking into, how we can bring that to our consumers.
That's great. And so on the business side, in terms of a business model, how do you guys generate revenue?
So there's two ways the company pretty much generates revenue at this point. People are obviously signing up for the challenges, big source of revenue for us. And then on the trading related side, we are looking for ways to monetize our trading data. So there is tools that we're building and that we're currently using to actually leverage the trades that the traders are taking, and to actually make money with that. And I personally believe that as time goes on, that will become the main revenue source for the business.
I see. And so you mentioned an 80-20 split. Tell me a little bit more about that. So I passed the challenges along the way. I now an authorized trader. How much budget do I get, and how does the split work?
Yeah, so it all depends what you want to sign up with. So if you want to unlock 50,000 in capital, it's a $300 sign up fee. So then how that works is, say you go ahead, you pass phase 2, basically on that 50,000, you would sign a contract with us, and in the contract it would say anything that you make on that $50,000, we pay you a remuneration, of that fee. And how it actually is structured in the contract is, they're contractors of our company. We're paying them really for the trading data, because as you know, in the US, there's a lot of red tape regulation around trading institutions and everything like that. So there's ways contractually that we have things structured, for certain reasons. So yeah, anything, then you have $50,000, say that next week you hit a couple of great trades, you make 10%, you're up 5,000. When your payout date comes, you could submit a payout, you get paid out whatever 80% of the 5,000 is, so like $3,600.
It's amazing. That's such a great opportunity. What a cool business opportunity. Do you kind of view you guys yourself as a trading brokerage in that regard, or and are you looking to recruit other traders, hedge fund traders, and those kinds of guys? Or tell me a little bit about your audience and who you're looking to grow with.
Yeah, so we're certainly not a brokerage at this point. All of our actual trading activities are done with another entity in the Cayman Islands. So we're currently, as a US entity, on paper, we're a simulated trading company. So we're not a brokerage, right? Like, we don't personally have the licenses to be conducting that activity. So we're trying to be very clear about that. Mm-hmm. But in the future, I think that there is an opportunity for us to evolve, to become, a brokerage basically, and head into that direction. Really, I mean, the people that is our target audience right now is mainly people across social media, across Instagram, across YouTube. They're very average people. They're not professional fund managers. There's people that are truckers, people working jobs like me, like you or whatever, like working IT jobs, working community comm jobs, all different types of industries that they're in. We had somebody that was working at McDonald's, made $30,000, quit his job. Like, there's people that are 18, there's people that are 45, right? So it's really a broad spectrum of people, but really it's the retail trader, right? It's just the retail investor that's investing on these platforms like Robinhood, right? And they're looking at us as another just alternative way to generate, money online.
It's so cool that you guys fund it. So about the funding side of it, how do you protect your downside risk of somebody just losing a bunch because they're not experienced traders?
Yeah, there's certainly a lot of risk when it comes to them trading our money per se, right? And like I alluded to earlier, from our side, we're building and have built risk tools that are basically, they're grading all of the trades, all the traders, and they're forming a risk profile and letting us know through signals and alerts who we should be putting money behind and who we shouldn't be putting money behind. At the end of the day, it looks like to me, as we're running this business, it's much more of a risk controlled environment, in the sense that we don't want to not take the trades of someone that makes $1 million, right? We want to take those person's trades, but then we don't want to lose, someone on someone else's trades that loses $100,000, right? So it's very much, how do we leverage these risk tools that we've built, but also have outsourced and taken in from external vendors. And how do we do this dealing and control the risk, all of our downside while trying to protect and prioritize like upside potential.
Yeah, makes sense. And so do you have account managers or how do your customers engage with you? Is it simply they're just doing their trading, or do they have advisors that they meet with and engage with, or a community that they engage with?
Yeah, so the main source of our community right now is Discord. So we got about like 40,000 people in the Discord. In regards to a dedicated account manager for people that are funded, we currently don't have that. We do have live 24/7 support on the website, where we try to prioritize people that are the funded traders. But that's actually one of my goals is, as we're continuing to gain all this success and have all this opportunity, is how can we create a much more high class VIP like opportunity or experience for the people that are funded, and give them the most attention, and just have them like be evangelists and say, hey, I'm trading with the funded trader and they really take care of me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, that's great. And as a content marketing company, I love what you guys do on the content side and how you're providing videos and insights to your customers. Tell me a little bit about how content marketing has added value to the company.
Yeah, I think content marketing is it's one of those things that you can't exactly put a price tag on its value. From our perspective, we're a very data-driven company that uses different applications to track all of our where all of our revenue is coming from. So we understand, we can see the results of our socials like Instagram, YouTube, like our Discord, stuff like that. We know how much revenue comes in from those channels, and it's maybe like 5-10% of our total revenue, right? But it's so important to have all of those channels because, one, it's the ability to reach obviously new customers, new clients, just impressions, right? Getting a lot of impressions. But it's also, right, you bring these people into your community, you bring them into your Discord. You want to entertain people. You want to keep people informed on things that are going on, right? You want to share the stories of the people that are having success, in the company. It's really just all brand equity. It's all just culture at the end of the day. So I think that the content is really invaluable to focus on that. As a company, I'm trying to continue to double down on that, trying to continue to almost be like a media company. I mean, hate to bring up, a very cliche thing that's said, but Gary Vee, pretty much just says, he's like, you can never make too much content, right? You really can't. Like at some point, if you identified good content to make, right, and that content is engaging, that your audience likes it, you can never make too much of that, right? It's something to be said about when you discover what works. So for me, I'm just trying to double down on what we know people want to see, and do less of what we know people don't want to see. And, I think that that's the strategy going forward. And just, again, content, very important.
Yeah, I love that. And everybody's a publisher in this world. So, building community around that and even having the user-generated content is so strategic. Love that.
Yep.
You mentioned Instagram earlier. What are your main social media channels?
We are on every social media channel that could possibly exist. We're trying to even get on more that are out there. So main ones for us is definitely Instagram. We're on YouTube as well. We're on Twitter. It's another platform. Discord is where we're growing a community. And then we're on some other platforms. There's Reddit, Forex Factory, which is like a popular forum platform. We're on TikTok as well. So again, yeah, every platform that we can possibly get on.
Love it. I guess my last question is, if you were to forecast out a year from now, what would you like to be celebrating?
We would definitely, from a revenue standpoint, we would definitely like to 8x where we're at now, 10x where we're at now. We've paid out $20 million to date to traders.
Wow.
In the last year and 7 months. So I would say a year from now, I would, at the absolute minimum, want to be double that. ideally we're paying out 10 million a month, more. So, my goal is to just scale up the amount that we're paying to people. And, ultimately that means that our revenue and our business is continuing to grow as well. So that's definitely one of our main goals.
So exciting. What a great milestone. Well, it's been a pleasure talking with you, Angelo. Thank you so much. It's Angelo at thefundedtraderprogram.com. Go check him out.
Yeah,
Thanks
I really
again.
appreciate it. Really appreciate it, Andy, taking the time to have me on. And, anyone that's interested, definitely head over to the website and check things out. So thanks for listening.
Thank you.